Good morning, everyone. Guess what time it is? It's that time of the day. It is 11 a.m. Thursday morning, and welcome to Epic Share, where concepts are worth sharing. My name is Costa Guerra. This is my beautiful wife, Sammy Guerra, and we're excited to be here with you, sharing some incredible concepts today. Remember, this show takes place every Thursday at 11 a.m. for about 11 minutes.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So, honey, what's the concept we're sharing today?
I love today's topic. It's all about the heart and the mind. And there is a great quote out there, a quote in online that I love. It says, the greatest distance in the world is just 14 inches between the heart and the mind.
Literally 14.
Literally, yeah.
Absolutely. So, honey, we all know that heart and mind don't always agree. They usually disagree. So can you shed some light on that for us?
Absolutely. You know, being in my relationship, it was an eye-opening for me because I 100% come from the heart. And what I realized, it's not necessarily, gonna work because you do need your brain to make decision. And of course, you need your heart to love.
And I'm usually the one that makes a decision up here rather than here. And my wife, of course, is reverse version of that. So let's talk about example, honey. We always share that with everyone.
Absolutely. So here a great thing that we thought that it was simplified, the answer. The heart will say, free shipping. Let's spend $75 today.
Hell no. We're not spending extra $75 to save on shipping. That's what we're talking about.
But this is how we get tricked when you come from the heart. You have no business sense at all, for sure.
For sure. And I am way too far on the business side. So, of course, balance is needed, honey. So maybe you can shed some light on that, why it's so important to have the balance.
For sure, for sure. What I learn, and again, every day it's a learning experience for me. And, the balance that we both need, and this is a guarantee for every relationship. You want to have the mind and the heart, especially if you want to succeed in a relationship and succeed in life. Now, if you on your own and you have somebody else handling your business, you can come from the heart 100%, but you cannot make business decision.
Indeed.
Yeah, so what I learned from it is when it comes to business and common sense, he's the master at this. I can bring some, heart into the situation.
For sure.
But doesn't necessarily mean that he's always right or I'm always right coming from the heart. Sometimes that balance that you need to check with each other and communicate 100%.
And over the next few minutes, we're going to dive into a few key pointers that is absolutely imperative for people to know and understand, especially if you're in a relationship, how to apply this to improve and better your relationship in decision making. So one of them is obviously it's not always a 50-50 thing, correct, honey?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
So it's not always 50-50 because sometimes I need his advice to make a decision, right?
For sure.
And I'll give you an example. I mean, I come from the heart and I choose to stay in a hard, vibration because I know I am protected and I know it's guaranteed that his common sense will make a lot of sense.
And what do I know about vibration?
Well,
Gosh.
you don't need to know. I'm here to make your vibration relax. But here's
Indeed.
something incredible. I do event, I do seminar, I'm a speaker, and I still want to be the teacher that come from the heart and stay connected. When it comes to think behind the scene, I look through my mind. I look through my partner to give me advice on how to run the stuff behind the scene. And that's how you get successful.
And as you always say, follow your heart, but don't forget to take your brain with you.
Absolutely.
So very, very important.
And a lot of us, forget, we have a brain. We want to be a good person. Well, guess what? Good's not going to take you anywhere.
So let's talk about, this is very important, honey, for us. The next point we want to dive in is, you always say about training your heart and mind to work from the position of goodness. So
course,
let's talk about that, love.
Absolutely. And again, I'm going to use us as an example because it's close to the heart, and then it give me and giving me an idea to give you, the truth about him and I. So when the balance that we both have, first of all, it's when I talk to him about certain decision that I want to make from the heart, he will advise me through communication and ask me, what is your intention? Make sure that this is the outcome that you want to have. And a lot of time, when you come from the heart, it just doesn't make any sense. And you need that feedback.
So you break it down to sort of three steps. And one of them is, if it feels right and it makes sense, move forward, correct?
Absolutely. Because, and I want you to share how you feel. Even when you come from the mind and you think that you know everything, sometimes it doesn't feel right. I agree?
Correct. And I do like these three steps because, as I said, first step, if it feels right and it makes sense, move forward. But if it feels wrong, but it does make sense, you should pause and investigate a little more. And last but not least, if it feels right but doesn't make sense to you, very important, ask your mind to trust your heart.
Absolutely.
That's the path you take, correct?
Absolutely. Because I do believe whether you are the heart or the mind, we all have one thing in common. It's your intuition and your gut feeling. That even the mind have that in them. So, right?
For sure. And I'm guilty of that here. Quite often it doesn't feel, it does feel right, but it doesn't make sense. And more often than not, I pause, I do not move forward. So this is something for me to learn as well. And those of you listening and watching this show, absolutely imperative. Now let's talk about your thoughts and feelings with your partner, honey.
With my partner regarding
anything in life,
especially the decision
Sure.
we have to make.
Yeah.
Of course, I get vision, and again, it comes from my heart. I want to make a difference. I want to save the world. That's really my thing. And so when I approach, Costa about those ideas, he give me, and that's what I learned from the relationship, realistic advice. You need to have fact. You need to have a cause and effect. You need to have a purpose. Otherwise, you want to save the world, but you have no direction. You're not going to save anybody, neither yourself.
Indeed. So balance,
Yeah.
absolutely imperative. Now, you got to also know why and where your weaknesses are, correct, honey?
For sure. My weakness is I can make decision all the time from the mind because I want to come from the heart 100%.
And the one thing I always share with everyone is God gave you 2 ears, 1 mouth. Do more listening and less talking to be able to observe, correct?
For sure. But something you brought in a beginning of the the share, that was very powerful. You said that, the mind has a different function and the heart has a different function. So we both need each other. So don't think that, you're going to take on the role, I am the mind and that's all I have. And you are the heart and we two separate things. We need each other.
Correct. So basically what you're saying is watch your emotions so you don't overexpress or underexpress, correct?
Absolutely.
Very, very important. Last but not least, don't jump into situations that without thinking and feeling it first. So put your mind and heart at work every time you're in a special situation, correct?
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask. At the beginning, I was afraid to ask because I'm Mrs. Nice person and I want to save the world. And I thought that his personality was too strong. But then when you get to know each other, you realize you are together for a reason, to learn from each other. So you can definitely 100% benefit from it.
And for sure, we're not the only couple like this, the yin-yang of the world. Many couples are opposite. You just have to learn how to adapt to each other, how to work, and how to interlace that relationship together, correct?
Absolutely. But I also noticed that it's not just couple. Even in a business, even in a friendship relationship, even in your kids, we all have different personality. So if you a master in something, look for the other master in the mind. I can give you the advice. I can give you common sense. I take all his advice. Doesn't mean I listen 100%. He give me great advice. Most of the time, I take the action. Some of them, I also go in my heart if they feel right.
And I actually, the same for me, quite often I make my decisions based on what is logical, facts, all that. And then I often share with my wife to hear her perspective from the heart and and perhaps maybe I'm not looking at it from all perspectives. So it's imperative that you're open to both sides before you actually moving forward a decision. Correct?
Definitely. And when you reach that success, I'm going to give you a little example about how your life going to work. When I approach Costa, even if I want to talk from the heart, even if I want to talk, a little bit of spirituality to him, I need to come up and back up with fact, correct?
Absolutely.
That will make sense to his mind. If I tell him I can do this or this, this event is going to make so much difference, or I want to save the world, I need to give him fact so his mind can understand.
So we're coming close to the end of our show, but as you saw and heard, we share quite a few important topics. I highly recommend you go over this video a few times, take some notes, and put those what we just shared into your relationship and day-to-day operation. So with that said, we're excited to be here once again. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget next week's show every Thursday at 11 a.m. for 11 minutes. Follow us on obviously Facebook, Instagram, on all the social medias. Our time is up. Thanks for yours, and have an awesome, epic week. Thank you.